Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
Now board, all hands back at battle station.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
Yeah, well, today, right now, all those wars, all that fighting, we're here today to celebrate America's birthday. How about that?
That's great.
And here's my outfit. We have
America.
You're in red, white, and blue.
That's right.
You're in red, white, and blue.
Okay, you have to tell me because I can see nothing.
You can see nothing.
I see nothing.
Can't see anything. You ever see people that wear their hats like this?
Yes, I do.
Where
But
go?
they
Where
don't
do
see
go?
me.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. Hi, happy 4th of July. Happy birthday,
That is
America.
so cute.
God bless America. Can we say God bless America anymore?
I don't know. I guess that would make us pretty brave.
We had an atheist on.
Yeah, he thought we were
yesterday.
brave to have him on. Like he thought that was risky.
I was very careful yesterday with Darren. He's a nice guy.
He's really nice.
Not to be snarky, and
Snarky
smarmy,
and smarmy.
you know, and all of that, which sometimes I do. I was trying not to do that. Didn't want to scare him away. But he seems like the kind of guy that would hang in there and, engage. But
Even though you are a stupid idiot, Tom.
I know, the more religious a person are, the dumber you are, he was saying. And he said, you can look it up right here. You can look it up. But
On the internet.
all of that to say, God bless America, those words. Or some people are now saying, may America bless God. Those words will be said about 17 trillion times today in official and non-official business. It's 5 o'clock, 3 minutes after 5 o'clock. WNN, South Florida, 50,000 watts. Coming at you, folks, out of Boca Raton. Our bunker is not in Boca Raton, though we used to be there. We're going to go back.
Good.
We're
We
going to
need
go back
visit.
maybe once a month.
I think that would be lovely.
We can't have all this stuff we have here and all these signs and rooms and all that, but we'll go do radio there.
We'll bring our friends.
Very little friend. What is that thing all about you got there?
Oh, that's just a friend of mine that
A
I
little
brought
bear.
to keep me. Well, he's a dog. His name is
Oh,
Arrow.
gotta have a gun. Gotta get a gun. Gotta get a gun. Not gun. Gunned.
G-U-N-D.
Yes,
Gotta
yes.
get a gun.
We have a great show for you today. In a few minutes, we're going to have a gentleman out of Sarasota, Florida, Gene Sweeney, a friend of ours, a veteran, and an individual who has a passion for honoring veterans in the United States of America. And he put his money where his mouth is. He put leather to his feet, and he went and put together an extremely fascinating, I won't tell you quite what it is. We're going to tease them a little bit, okay?
Just a bit.
Put this together in Sarasota, Florida. So if you're ever in the Sarasota, Florida area, West Coast, about an hour south of Tampa, about an hour and a half north of Naples, on the coast, you can go see what Gene Sweeney did. But we'll show you that and talk to him in a few minutes. Want you to always be listening to Holly Meredith, 4 to 5 before us on WNN 1470. Steve Kane, Brian, covering the Zimmerman trial like nobody is. They're a little shaky though, because they were against Zimmerman. They thought he was guilty early on. I don't know where their thinking is now. They seem to be dealing
you
with
have
reality.
to tune
I tell you
into
what,
the
I was-
show from 6 to 9 a.m.
6 to
Monday to
9.
Friday
Yep,
and hear
yep.
what they
Let me
have
give
to
you
say
my
about it.
little 10-second take on
Yes.
the Zimmerman thing. Zimmerman, I was there in Orlando when the whole thing broke, and it was a complete and total media
Mark,
thing.
you have to put on the 4th of July. People have to see your vibrance.
Oh, God.
They got to see your vibrance and your patron.
Oh,
yeah.
Saluting, Captain. Yes, we're at attention.
Salute. Yes, the whole Zimmerman thing. to watch it actually manifest before it became a big story, because it was a nothing story for a long, long time, and then it became this outrage, this black outrage, and then all of a sudden Zimmer became this white Hispanic, and this is it was really comical to see it.
Could have been any time that Al Sharpton came down to Florida.
Yeah, and
Jesse Jackson.
When Al Sharpton came down, it was a complete and total just whitewash.
right out of the Tawana Brawley
Yeah, it was.
playbook.
It was completely insane.
Well, we're keeping our eyes on that, and whatever way this trial goes, America, just chill out, okay? Today's our birthday, and this country is not a perfect country, but as I'll never forget, speaking to a communist leader in Chicago a year and a half ago, I asked them. I was undercover and all this stuff. I said, "What's the best country to go to as communists?" And he thought about it. He goes, "Well, America."
It's a tough question for a communist. It really is.
But he said America is the best country to go to if you're a communist. So imagine if you're not a communist. And can you imagine what the 75 or 80 communists that are in our Congress are doing on this day? According to Alan West, anyway. Remember?
Yeah,
Yep.
they're
So
having a
75
day
or 80.
off.
Well, did you see what AlanEst said today?
No. What did he say?
I'll show you that in a little while.
On his face, the one on his Facebook.
Getting a little edgy.
He's
Actually,
just getting
said,
a little
That was a couple
crazy,
of
is he?
days- Yeah,
Said a couple of
posted
days
it,
ago.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of patriots are saying, "Whoa, you go, boy!
Yeah.
Let's do it." He's
The crazy stuff, or what?
King George kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Teaching King George a lesson kind of stuff. But we'll read it today because it's very appropriate. But the point is, we're a country of laws, founded upon law, guided by the rule of law. Once that goes, then we fall into anarchy and craziness and chaos, and we're a third world banana republic.
Like we are now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
excuse me.
Kind of like we are now.
Oh, yeah, we're already there.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
tweet us at the United West, Follow us. Be sure to subscribe, theunitedwest.org. And be sure, if you want us to keep standing for America, one of our purposes on the show, stand for the Constitution. We need your scratchola, your shkatol, your lettuce, your shekels. What else? How else can we put it? Donations.
Donations.
We need
please.
your donations. We need your donations. There we go. We need your donations. Oh, okay. We need your donations.
Donate securely. By the way, that's good on the emails.
The new one?
Change the new donate
Yeah,
securely.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, we put a new little graphic up in our emails, so please use it. Please use it. Yes, this thing has to go right there. It's actually very sensitive.
It's like CJ.
It's
It's a CJ
I'm
mic.
such a
As all of
sensitive,
us are
delicate
these
thing.
days. As all of us
CJ
are.
always gets her mic right, Tom.
Yes, I know. All right. Well, before we get Gene, I'm going to.
No, keep your
I don't
hat
wear
on.
hats.
Yeah,
It looks pretty cool.
you're throwing off the green screen.
Oh, is that what happens? Okay. I used to always wear hats, but I don't anymore. But I like this one. Oh, okay. Before we get Gene Sweeney, I want to set the context for him and for the work he's doing, and for his commitment to this country as a.
Lift
as
your
a
head
veteran.
up, Tom, so we see your
Little
eyes.
bit,
There you
little
go.
bit,
Yeah,
there we
you're
go.
blocking the
There we
light.
go.
There
All right,
you
here
go.
we go.
Okay.
All these light things.
Yeah, I know.
Today
Stop being a
is.
star.
I gotta actually be careful. Today is actually Independence Day. I'm gonna just share a little bit of history, okay? And do we have a couple of graphics to kind of
Yeah,
flow?
the flow with the
kind of
history.
flow with.
Flow with the go.
Flow with the go. I got to put my peepers on. Okay, good. Today's a federal holiday. Everybody knows that. And should we do this by exam? Yeah, I think so.
Oh no, pop quiz.
We have 488 days to what, everybody? 488 days to
to
what?
November.
The election.
November 4th, 1919, 2014, the elections. So we got 488 days. And we only have elections because of what some folks did 237 years ago. We're celebrating today, obviously, the 4th, 1776, 237 years ago. We declared our independence from what country?
Mexico.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Uh-oh.
From
those British things.
okay, that British,
The Queen.
that British
The Queen.
thing. But do you realize that the Second Continental Congress meeting where? Where was the meeting? I think it was meeting in New York back then, or maybe Philadelphia. It had to be Philadelphia, right?
Philadelphia was
Philadelphia.
the second one.
Continental Congress, yeah. They actually met on July 2nd, 1776, to approve Richard Henry Lee's resolution. He was a legislator from Virginia, and he had a resolution of independence. There's George Washington speaking to the boys. And on July 2nd, 1776, the Second Continental Congress passed the resolution declaring independence from Great Britain. And in fact, John Adams, who was going to become a future president, who was married to whom? John Adams.
Abigail.
Abigail.
Miss Adams?
He said to his
Adams.
wife on July
Mrs.
3rd,
Adams to you.
to Mrs. Adams, on July 3rd, 1776. We kind of think this is history, which it is, but like these people are vapors that didn't exist. They had to go to the bathroom just like you and I do, folks. They walked down the street, they smoked cigars, they drove cars, they flew in airplanes,
That's right.
they played video games, they did all the stuff we do today. But on July 3rd, 1776, John Adams says this to his wife, Abigail. He says, Abigail, the second day of July, 1776, will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the Day of Deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to, sorry, Darren, God Almighty.
Right.
It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows and games and sports and guns and bells and guns, bells, bonfires, illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore.
That does not sound Sharia compliant.
No, and he was
No,
off
it
2
doesn't.
days. He was off 2 days because he
Well,
thought July
because he thought the
2nd.
resolution
Because that's when they
would
did
be
it.
the
That's right.
anniversary
That's when
day.
they passed the
Yeah.
resolution.
Right.
But in actuality, the declaration was signed on July 4th.
Right.
So that's when.
So it's, oh, yeah.
After,
right.
well, they
yeah,
did a
yeah,
little
yeah.
tweaking on the second and the third, and then on the fourth, they said, okay, we're done with
We're
this
done with
already.
this now.
Because we need to recess, so we
Because
have to go home.
Everybody knows it's July 4th, not July 2nd. And so, that's what they
Let's
had to
just do it that way,
they had
right.
to change it.
They seem
Now-
to get a lot more work
Yeah,
done
I mean,
back then.
Got a little
than
more work
which
done.
gets done now.
That's
Because
right.
we do it like July 2nd, and we're like the day after Canada. We don't want to be after Canada. We want to be our own thing.
Let me bust everybody's bubble. Most
Uh-oh.
historians, not some, but most, actually believe the signing of the Declaration was August 2nd, because they went their separate ways after it was written up, and then they had to come back and discuss it, and so who knows? But have fun today, and have faith in the future of America, because the college students that you're going to see right now are the ones that are going to make the decision for your well-being, for your welfare, for your economic stability, for your spiritual destiny. These young folks.
For your health and well-being, and also they're the ones who are going to be working.
And this is
Support
where
you
you
in your retirement.
yeah, and this is where you insert your sigh.
Are we ready?
Good luck.
Are we ready with a couple of these people?
Yeah.
All right, this is a gentleman who just went out, little man on the street interviews, asking university students. These are all kids, 19 to 40 or so, mostly 25, about the significance and the chronology of this day, America's birthday. And we're just not quite ready for that yet. Okay? But we will get it. And where we're going with this, folks, is very simple. We gave you a little bit of the history. We're going to look at a gentleman who has done something significant for the United States of America. But we're going to have this little bridge of inanity, idiocy. Well, I don't want to give too much away.
I wonder, you think I
It's
could answer
going-
some of these questions as a
you
as an
could.
intern college student?
We might at the end, we might give you a chance to answer these questions. But
It's very interesting, and you can go back and watch Monday's show and see Dr. Andy Bostom's analysis of what's wrong with this country and with the college students and the young adults in this country right now. And here's
here
an
it is.
example.
Here it is. And here's an example
4th of July, America.
of our
Started
finest
right in the beginning. Let's go.
When the founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence in 1976, what country did we break away from?
Wait, what?
Hold on, this is just her.
Oh gosh.
What country did we break away from back in 1976 when the Declaration of Independence was signed?
It's a really good question.
You know, we have a big party, everybody celebrates and gets drunk and
4th of
barbecues.
July. I love that.
But you don't know why we celebrate
No,
it?
it's
China.
China.
We
China.
the Declaration of Independence, we broke
I
away
knew that. I knew that. China.
When we declared independence from China back in 1776, and Jesse Ventura signed the Declaration of Independence, what year was that?
Oh, God.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
Jesse Ventura.
Can you replay that?
Hold on, just
I gotta see that.
See if you can replay
Gentlemen,
that.
this is joking hour.
It's
This is out, and it looks like in California on the beach.
I knew
on
that,
the
China.
boardwalk. All right.
When we declared independence from China back in 1776, and Jesse Ventura signed the Declaration of Independence, what year was that?
Oh, God.
What year was that?
Jesse Ventura signed the Declaration of
In
Independence
1776.
after we broke free from China. Okay,
we-
keep going.
Well,
Watch
I didn't know this. This is good information.
This is good
Just
stuff.
Need to know
They don't
information.
know that it was 1976.
That's right. Exactly.
Wait, Jesse Ventura signed the Declaration.
Yeah, hold on, just him. We'll get to you in a minute.
I have no
What
idea.
year was that? The Declaration of Independence signed when we
I have no
had the Revolutionary War against China.
It's been so long.
That's so long.
Right, I haven't had to remember that
Yeah.
forever.
Who cares about American history
This
and
kid's
our
22
founding?
years old, easily
right?
22 years
Talking
old.
about the
This is an old
Chinese
woman.
Revolutionary War. When we signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776 and broke away from China. What year was the Declaration of Independence signed?
Oh my gosh.
He just
Oh my
said it.
gosh, it was 18 something.
The 18
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Have a nice life.
A nice life.
When the founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776, what year did they sign the Declaration of Independence and break away from England to start America?
78. I don't know.
1978?
Yeah.
1978.
Close.
When Jesse Ventura and Jack Lemmon and the other founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, what year was that?
I don't know.
Have a nice life.
People don't listen to the question.
1812.
The Declaration of Independence was signed in
1762.
1762.
Unbelievable.
Okay, zombie.
Hey, what is it?
There's one or two more we'll do.
What year was the Declaration of Independence signed by Jesse Ventura and Jack Lemmon?
1842.
1842. What date specifically? The day.
November 2nd. Wait, what?
November 2nd.
This is a 22.
What year was the Declaration of Independence signed? Just
What? 1774?
1974.
There you go, 1974.
You got any big plans for the 4th of July this year when we celebrate our independence from Mexico? Are you going to be doing anything to sort of reflect on that independence, the breakaway from them?
Yeah, American style.
Party.
Getting drunk and smoking some weed.
Yeah, man. Sacrament. One love.
When the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1776, we declared independence from England.
Yeah.
What date did they sign the Declaration of Independence?
The date? I don't know.
What date was that?
That was 19 something, like 1914, 1876. I don't know.
I bet you don't.
No, do you?
Are you intoxicated?
No, yeah. Well, I
We need a 5150 on you?
I mean, really, yeah. Go ahead if you guys want.
We need a 5150 on this crackpot here.
Hey, well,
Have a nice day. We're talking about the Declaration of Independence when we sort of declared independence from Mexico. You're Mexican. Are you going to be celebrating the Independence Day, 4th of July, despite those differences?
Well, usually we celebrate anything that has to do with anything to drink.
At least he's honest.
So even though like your people and my people, battled each other in the Revolutionary War, we could come together and celebrate the 4th of July together.
Yeah, it's like people do that in Cinco de Mayo too. Like
the white folks are.
Yeah.
It's an excuse for us to get drunk too.
Nah, pretty much.
Hey, Mexicans!
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
Cinco de
what I'm
Mayo.
about.
Let's get wasted.
And usually it's them that are wearing the sombreros and stuff.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
right.
The white people
Okay.
wears it. All right,
All right, no problem.
it goes on for a couple
You're
more
Mexican.
minutes.
Do you
Let's
celebrate
cut.
the 4th of July even though
One more minute.
we've declared our independence from Mexico in 1776?
Well, I was born in the United States, so I'm Mexican parents, but I'm an American. But
But
we
you- I mean-
celebrate the 4th of July.
But so you don't see any conflict of interest
No.
because you're Mexican and we declared independence from Mexico?
Not at all.
There's no, you have you like both sides, even though we declared independence from Mexico.
I think that was wonderful that we declared independence.
That was wonderful. We declared independence from Mexico.
Yeah.
And just become, we can be neighbors now though. We can be friendly neighbors even though
Absolutely.
the Declaration of Independence declared independence from our Mexican neighbors.
We can still be friends and neighborly.
What country did America declare independence from?
Independence. What country? Independence from England.
From England, correct. German citizen, a tourist.
He's a tourist.
More
say
about
he's
the
not
4th of
from
July than
America.
many Americans.
Yeah, okay. Mark Dice. That's youtube.com/Mark Dice.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Went out, did a little man on the
Switch
street.
over.
Really, really, really sad. And I want to bring up Gene if he's with us. Is Gene with us? Gene Sweeney, are you there?
I am, and you had me confused a little bit listening
Go
in the
ahead.
wings here. I thought for sure this was July 4th. However, in listening, I came to the conclusion that I'm wrong. This is April Fool's Day, listening to those
You're
people.
not kidding. You're not kidding, Gene. Was that amazing or what?
Yeah, that was
Well, you
hilarious.
know, it's tragic. One should look at it in some sort of humorous way. It's tragic on another. And let me add to this, certainly not intending one-upmanship, but just to share. As you know, and I'll talk about the Benghazi Four because their names are engraved on our memorial in Patriots Park in Venice, where the terrorists lived, trained, and plotted 9/11. However, recently, I was talking, and I had given a talk about this, and I talked about the Benghazi Four in mentioning, and I asked a couple of the young people who were there, and I mean college students, I asked them, what do you think about what happened to the Benghazi Four? Tom, to my hand to God, the response was, I've never heard their music.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
The Benghazi
Wow.
Four.
They thought Benghazi was a group, an entity. Believe me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise us. It's sad.
Nothing surprises me anymore. And having taken on this quest, and speaking of it and why and the genesis of it, and people ask me, what did you do this for? Who really cares? And the only thing I can say, and I'll share with you, is it's the emails and the handwritten letters from the moms and the dads, the Gold Star mothers and those that aren't, from the Navy SEAL wives and parents, from our fallen heroes, from the first responders, FDNY, NYPD, New York, New Jersey Port Authority, from passengers on the 4 flights, whose several names are on our wall, which is quite unique. And I'll share with you, it's that sort of stuff, that response activity, that is making this everyday event worthwhile. I have in my hand.
Hey, Gene, hang on,
right
Gene.
now.
Gene, hang on one second. This is Tom. I got to do a little station ID here, and we need to introduce you properly, who you are and your military background, and then the project. We really didn't get into the project. We're showing some pictures of it.
All right.
But let's take a minute at 27 minutes after 5 o'clock on July 4th. Happy birthday, America. Mark, let's go a quick shot to Mark's shirt. He's sort of our flag.
I'm the shirt for the day?
Yeah. You're
a patriotic guy for the day.
You're in the contest for the best flag. Let's go to CJ. She's got something on there.
I've got red, white, and blue.
Okay.
Mark wins so far.
My pants are white. You just can't see them.
Me?
I got this over here. Okay.
Yeah.
I got this thing going on.
Okay.
But I brought a little flag with me. My pocket. You ever seen these pocket constitutions?
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull it up.
Okay. I have a pocket flag here.
Upside down.
Not surrender flag.
Oh, the other way around. This way.
No, the surrender. Okay.
Is there a flag in your pocket, or are you happy to
There's
see
our
us?
pocket flag. How's that flag?
I think you should hold that up for the rest of the show.
Yeah, you should hold that up for the rest of the show.
Actually, that flag is made out of the paper. The white stripes are pages of the Bible. Good thing it's not the Quran, right?
That's right.
Pages of the Bible appropriate to patriotism
put it down now,
and faith
Tim.
and all that. And
don't hurt yourself.
Yikes.
okay, it is heavy.
That is everything. There you
It's
go.
a work of art.
Okay.
Created by Invisible Mike, by the way.
So, by Invisible Mike put that together. It's really beautiful. We thank Mike for that.
And we're auctioning that off today for.
There we go. We're auctioning it off, and Mark is going to buy it, so it doesn't matter.
That's right.
So
we won't go there.
So on this,
we'll go there,
auctioned off.
Mr. Auction King.
On this day,
Do
we
I hear
want to.
$20?
That is a good idea. We
25.
should have an auction for
Yeah, it'd be
it
a good
because
idea,
we're raising
actually.
money
Yeah.
for,
That
for
could
the
be very
camp
good.
for Operation.
That's right.
Yeah. So on this day, July 4th, Thursday at 29 minutes after 5 o'clock, we wanted to have a little fun with you guys today, honoring America, and as John Adams said, to honor God Almighty. And one way we thought to do that would bring
God's in the hold on.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Tom? You're
John Adams.
Yeah, it's one of the old people. They didn't do anything about it now.
One way to do that was to bring a good friend of ours on, Gene Sweeney, who served his country in the United States military, then did something that's quite unique. Gene, tell us a little bit about yourself, your service, and then your idea for the monument in Venice, which was part of the launching pad for 9/11 coming out of Florida, and teach us a little bit about what America is.
Okay, real quick, you won't believe this. This is, I have in my hand the book that you gave me 1 year ago on 7/17/12 at the Hyatt Hotel, Sharia, the Threat to America, when you introduced me to Gary Bernstein, and who is the incredibly talented CIA operative, and from there we kept in touch. A little bit about me in the for what it's worth category. I left my first semester at NYU, and I won't make this an epic, at 17 years old, and looked around me, and this was in 1962. And I graduated Brooklyn Tech High School, where obviously I'm originally from.
That's when I was born.
Brooklyn Heights, which is directly across from where the World Trade Center was built. And so there's a connection there, but it goes way beyond that. I enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1962, and after basic training and went on to intelligence school, I became an intelligence analyst and was assigned to the U.S. Air Force OSI, which is terribly unlike NCIS on television. And so, anyway, I was a young analyst, and then I spent 62 to 68 in the OSI, and was looking forward to making it a career. Tet Offense had happened, and I looked at this situation, looked at who was running the military, and decided that I couldn't deal with the empty suits that were in Washington that were calling the shots for our military. So I unfortunately, from that standpoint, in my mindset, decided to relieve and resign, and I went on into, did some work for one of the agencies for a short period of time, and then moved forward into the corporate world. Hence, was involved in information systems security, a logical progression from my training, and then into information systems security, contingency and disaster recovery planning for Fortune 500 companies and global corporations around the world, and subsequently spent some time with the largest Indian conglomerate organization known as the Tata Group, of which we became one of the foremost authorities on the ability of information system security, application development, security software, and contingency planning, and so forth. 2005, I resigned from the organization and started a company dealing specifically with intelligence for the corporate community, dealing with sales and competitive intelligence, using the same guidelines and platforms that I'd learned as a intelligence agency with the OSI, and then from that standpoint assisted organizations in developing their own in-house menu-driven cookbook approach to dealing with their information system security issues.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Moving forward, my wife and I, in 2000, we lived in Atlanta, or at least our house was there. Mine was. I wasn't for 35 plus years. And we finally decided that it was time. I didn't want to deal with the traffic around Atlanta 285 anymore, so I came south, and we moved to the Lakewood Ranch area, suburb of Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida, as well, in a lovely community. And it was the end of the summer of 2009 when our grandchildren were visiting with us, and they go back to school a little bit later, as you know. You're from the New York, New Jersey area, and the kids back there go back to school on September 9th. Well, here was Labor Day weekend, and 9/11 was coming up, 2009. 8 years after the attacks on 9/11, Tuesday morning at 8:43 a.m., second plane hit at 9:06. And I asked my oldest grandson, who was then 11, I guess about 10 or so, 10 or 11, and his sister, who was 7 or so, you're getting back to going to school, and we're coming up on the 9/11 anniversary. Share with me what they teach you or have taught you about the 9/11 attacks, the reasoning, perhaps why, and what have they taught you since then? The answer to which was very quickly, Pop, they really don't and haven't taught us anything about it, certainly not the reasoning, Only when we're back at school on 9/11 do they mention it for that day, and it's not even a moment of silence. It hit me like a ton of bricks, and I came to the reality that it's my job, and those of us that took the oath. I'm also an oath keeper, if you know what that is, and that, as we say, not on my watch. I couldn't deal with this anymore because of the responsibility that we all have to educate our children, to have them understand about America, the adversity that we have faced and overcome, and the fact that here we were attacked, and this was shattering to a lot of people and still is today. When I mentioned to them that the attacks on that day that killed over 3,000, mostly Americans. There were 326 countries who had lost individuals on that day. On that day, we lost more Americans than in all of Pearl Harbor. And to some people, that was a shock. I mean, there's been Tora, there's been the movies, and so forth and so on, and everything else, and unfortunately, John Wayne is not around. And to add,
what do you want to tell
that,
him? What do you? Wait, hey, we're running out of time, Gene. Well, I'm getting a signal. We got to move on here. What? Well, Mark, what do you want to ask him?
No. The cause for the foundation is actually to just to honor and to put up a memorial for the site and yeah.
Well, what happened was, in order to have this as a benchmark, I went to New York and went through the process of securing a 4,000-pound plus beam, the center point of the memorial, which is a pentagon-shaped memorial made out of black granite, almost identical to the Vietnam Veterans Wall, and the font of the names size that are engraved is exactly the same size as the font in the Vietnam Wall.
Gene, we have a picture of that up on the screen now.
Yeah, it's
that's at Patriots Park in Venice, Florida.
How did you get? And we're starting to run out of time, so we got to speed this up a little bit. But how did you get permission to do that?
Well, I had to fight City Hall, literally. There were individuals who did not want the 9/11 Victims and Fallen Military Heroes Memorial in Venice because it was reminiscent and brought a lot of attention to the black eye that Venice, unfortunately, had to experience as a result of the terrorists who lived, trained, and plotted 9/11. Well, my answer to that was, you can't unring a bell. It happened. Let's move forward. And then with that, I went through a tremendous task of convincing the city council, who became, as the story unfolded, very supportive, from the city council members to Mayor John Hollick to the various other commissioners, Christine Robinson, and on. And they started to buy into the situation. The most important factor, of course, like anything else, there was no cost. I committed to have this built without 1 cent of taxpayer dollars, no DOD, Department of Defense funding, no federal grant, nothing.
Yeah, that's
and from that, I reached out to individuals in the community, and individuals, once the beam arrived down here, kind of like, where's the beef, where's the beef? Right. Once they saw the beam, it began to become a reality that this thing was really something that was going to happen. And then from that went into the process of literally constructing, designing, and whatever, and people literally came together. The Gulf Coast Community Fund.
All right, Gene, we got about 2 minutes
Gene,
left.
I have a quick question I'd like to ask, if I may. Hi, this is CJ.
Sure.
How long did it take from when you first had the idea to erect this memorial in Venice until it was actually built and completed?
Well, good question. The answer to that is
the reason why I asked this is because It is now how many years since 9/11, 2001?
Well, no.
And there's no memorial at the World Trade Center yet.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
But you
And
put it all
hundreds-
together in how
and
long?
hundreds of millions of dollars have been donated, and we did this without $1 of federal or any other
Amen.
funding.
And how long did it
The
take?
idea,
Yeah, good job.
as I mentioned, came up with September 2009.
Mm-hmm.
It was dedicated and completed and constructed and finished and dedicated last September 11, 2012 at Patriots Park. And since then, I've been able to have 341 names of Floridian fallen military heroes, servicemen and women's names on the wall. I have all 81 to date Navy SEALs who have been killed, 2 of which out of the 81 are recipients of the Medal of Honor.
Right.
I've had engraved General H. Norman Schwarzkopf. We're the only memorial in the entire country that has engraved the names of the Benghazi Four, Ambassador Stevens, Sean Smith, the information officer, and the 2 former Navy SEALs, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty, who fought for 7 hours when they were abandoned in Benghazi.
Yeah, we've covered that, and we're going to continue. That's very, very big. Just we got about 30 seconds left with you. It really is an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
But not only did he put this this memorial together and keeps it updated and all of that, but Chris Kyle, who died just a couple of months ago,
Yes.
Gene was involved in a very unique project. About 30 seconds, Gene. Tell us about that project.
I had an individual who approached me. I sit on the membership. I'm a member of the Sarasota Council Veterans Commission. This gentleman, this artist, he approached me at the dedication of the 9/11 Memorial last year and asked me to help him because I had contacts at the Navy SEAL Foundation. He started on a generic Navy SEAL sculpture and asked me for his help. He started that in December of 2012. On February 2nd, Saturday afternoon, I heard that Chris Kyle was murdered helping a young Marine who had come off his second deployment, suffering from post-traumatic stress. Chris Kyle was with him, with his buddy, and he was murdered. I immediately picked up the phone, called this artist, and said, I have the perfect situation for you. Cancel your future work on this generic seal, convert it into a dedication to the greatest American sniper in U.S. military history, Chris Kyle, who was just murdered today. I will personally promote and market and brand this for you, raise the money. We shipped it. The same people, friends of mine, who brought down the steel beam from Hangar 17 in New York for the 9/11 memorial, drove their tractor trailer to Arlington, Texas, where I had found the foundry where the sculpture now resides and going through the lost wax process, and we have gifted the statue, which is just about completed in bronze, to Taya Kyle, Chris Kyle's wife, met his mom and dad and his brother Jeff, and we gifted the statue, the sculpture, which is now being a statue, to the Kyle family for them to decide where they want to put it.
Wow.
And discussions are, at this point, with the possibility of it going in front of the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Wow, that's tremendous.
That was another project that we did from scratch.
That is amazing. I watched that whole story, the video of the road, the trip when the truck was pulling down the road, the fire departments, everybody had the flags up.
What's the statue made out of? Is it
clay?
Is it clay?
Yeah, and then
it starts off as clay, and then it moves into the process, which is then converted. You can Google the process, which I became very quickly up to speed. It's called the lost wax process, which converts it into that. Now, the 9/11 Salt of the Earth is the organization which I founded, which is the organization that did the memorial and also helped with the Chris Kyle. And obviously, through 515, the salt of the earth. And the reason we came up with that is that salt is both a preservative and a seasoning. The preservative portion is to preserve the memory that we never forget, 9/11, and the seasoning is to assist our young people, our children, to be seasoned to understand what our country is all about and to remember that we can never forget, because this is our responsibility to each other as Americans. And as an oath keeper, that is my word. And if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Amen.
And it's not going to happen on my watch.
Excellent.
So anybody that can help, they can go to our website. We have asking for donations, because what we do is we inscribe the names on the wall of fallen military heroes, whether the family can afford it. It's a $150 one-time fee to have a name engraved on the memorial for life, of which we engrave it and we maintain it for life, and it's a gift in perpetuity. So from that standpoint,
we'll push everybody.
That website is saltoftheearthusa.org.
Saltoftheearthusa.org. We want everybody to go there. Gene, we got to let you go. We appreciate it. Perfect day for you to tell us this wonderful story. And folks, this is an individual who just set his mind on accomplishing something, went ahead and did it. And he's an illustration for anyone and everyone. Set your mind to something. Go do something great for this country. Let's give Gene a hand. We got to let him go right now. Thank you, Gene Sweeney.
I mean, that right there, that represents what I think America is all about, what Americans are all about, despite what our government tries to shove down our throats, and the media and the indoctrination in the schools and all the idiocy that comes out of our public school systems, as we saw the video.
I'm surprised.
At the beginning of the show. This man says, this country is great. Let's honor the people who love and fight for her, and let's have a fitting tribute to who we are as Americans, especially to commemorate 9/11 and the people who fought and died for this country.
And I love the story.
3 years.
And I love the part where he just, he had to fight City Hall to get it. He had to fight City Hall in order to get this. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, this is a great idea, and everybody thinks it's a great idea.
And everybody rolled out the red carpet and wrote checks and everything else.
No,
That's not how it happens.
What I was going to say is I'm a little shocked that he got it done. If it was an atheist like our prior guest, it would have been that wouldn't have shocked me if it got in so quick. But being it was pro-American, it's a little bit shocking.
That's a little different over there on that coast, that county, Sarasota County. Right. It's conservative, but people didn't want attention coming to Venice, where the airport where these guys trained. Yep. So really a great human interest story by Gene, and I know Gene. He's not a wealthy man. He's a hardworking guy. He bleeds red, white, and blue. Some of the pictures, he's always wearing shirts just like yours, Mark, all the time, red, white, and blue. Right. So folks. You can honor this country by doing great stuff, and honor our men in uniform, because on the 4th of July, as you read the framers and the founders' documents regarding how they wanted the 4th of July to be represented, one of the things they constantly say was to have celebration in fireworks. Now, we know those can be a little dangerous, but properly done, professionally done. Fireworks are a phenomenal thing, particularly on military bases, where we honor the troops.
Or do we?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh,
no cash for you.
Oh, the fireworks displays on military bases in America, guess what?
Yeah, no cash for you.
Well,
furloughed.
Let's see. Are we there?
Are we at sequester or what?
Yeah, this is a sequester thing. If you can put the first link up there. We're going to show you President Obama, who's on $100 million tour vacation. He's on a friggin' vacation.
He's on.
I mean, this is nonsensical.
Now, mind you, did you know all the people that are on vacation with him?
Yeah, like 8 million people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that he brought on Air Force One to tag along.
No,
$100 million vacation.
That is not a vacation. That is a I Am a Glorious Emperor tour.
Absolutely. I'm a world
where
emperor.
Hundreds of thousands
I
of people
feel like
can
we
bow
should
down to him.
every time he comes off the airplane,
foreign
you know, it
lands.
should be like a rock star. He should be introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing President Barack Obama.
It's not. No, not that one. Not that one, Mark. Yeah, that one. Take a look at, and for those of you driving at 51 minutes after 5 o'clock on Thursday, 4th of July, or if you're watching on the archives, July 4th fireworks furloughed at military bases. All Obama had to do was tell the pilot on Air Force One, cut back a little bit, okay, on the fuel, and we could have had fireworks displays on Camp Lejeune and all these other bases. They're cut out. Not enough money in the federal government's treasury to pay for a fireworks demonstration on 4th of July on the basis of the men and women who are fighting for this country.
Yeah.
I need my Obama phone.
And by the way, this is tens of thousands of dollars per base that we're talking about. This is not hundreds of millions
Right, exactly,
of
exactly.
dollars. This is not millions
I'm
and
telling you, they
millions
cut back on the
of
fuel.
dollars. They want to make sure that there is no pro-American symbolism even on our military bases, even on July 4th.
Well,
because
somebody-
they don't celebrate Independence Day
No, they don't.
because they want no United
Independence
States.
Day. They want
Open
Independence
the
Day.
All right, I got 2 minutes.
and
I got to put
dissolve the United States.
Yes. I got 2 minutes to put a lot of stuff in here, and then
Okay.
cue up our closing video, the 3-minute video. We're going to
Okay.
close the show with that. It has to go on at 5:55
Okay.
because it's like 3 something.
Okay.
And right, they don't. Obama's doing that, but the next guy, Peter Feynman.
Yeah,
If you can put
we
him
love
up.
Peter.
He spoke the other day. We're going to try to get him in here next week.
Thank you.
And he called President Obama
Yeah.
names. He called him a liar and a traitor. Do you have that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
There it is. Florida's Republican National Committeeman calls President Obama a liar and a traitor. That's
Yeah.
one of the leading politicians, activists here. He's our attorney.
Yeah.
Now, watch our good friend Alan West, who a day ago wrote on his Facebook page. If you can put that up. Can somebody read he has a whole diatribe against Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think I could read it. Let me get it right here. CJ, do you have it up?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, you
do
read
you want
it,
me to
CJ.
just read the
Yeah.
end, or
Yeah,
do you want me to read the whole thing?
no, you got to just read about halfway down.
Just till about this week we'll celebrate. The,
No, from halfway down to the
from
end.
halfway
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Okay. In California, we have a state-funded grant for the Los Angeles Unified School District to abuse the concept of public education.
No, we can't go that far. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm looking at the clock. Read. He has a diatribe against the president. Read the last sentence.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. The time draws near to teach this usurper and charlatan the lesson our forefathers taught King George III. We will not be ruled by arrogance and edict. That's what I wanted to read initially. Yeah.
What is he saying?
Okay.
Revolution!
What is he saying? Some
He's
people.
saying we need to declare our independence from Obama and this White House and the people who are trying to
Yeah,
rule
but he
this
says we need to
country.
teach that our forefathers taught King George.
Right.
Yeah.
Off
Well-
with his head.
Well,
Yeah.
think about that as you listen to this historic individual
Uh-oh.
articulate
You ready?
these historic words.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
Oof. Well, on behalf of CJ, Mark, Damon, and our intern, all of us here at TrentoVision, thank you, President Reagan. May God indeed bless America on this wonderful day.